Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kembali lagi kita di channel Hastag TV. Hari ini kita akan membahas sebuah video dari Prof Jiang, yang mana dia mengklaim bahwa sains dan mesin raksasa seperti CERN hingga tokoh seperti Einstein dan Charles Darwin merupakan bagian dari konspirasi pemuja setan. Mereka sengaja mempromosikan pandangan dunia yang berfokus pada materialisme seperti harta, utilitas dan kebebasan individu, dan mengesampingkan spiritualitas kita kepada Tuhan agar mempersiapkan kedatangan entitas jahat seperti Dajjal. Memang terdengar gila, tapi ini terasa masuk akal ketika kita membedah satu persatu tujuan dari orang-orang yang dianggap sebagai ilmuwan dunia ini. Bagaimana videonya? Berikut tayangan selengkapnya.
Alright. Once we understand that it's these secret societies and their grand plan in motion, now it helps us understand why things turn out the way they did. For example, now we understand where British philosophy comes from. We discussed last class about John Locke, David Hume, Bentham, Mill, Marx, Darwin, okay? These were all thinkers sponsored by Britain to promote a certain understanding of the world that is materialistic, and which will build foundation for the second coming, okay? So John Locke said private property is what's important. David Hume, philosophy is pointless. Don't think about God, just focus on material wealth. Jeremy Bentham, utility is everything, okay? How do we know what's good, what's right? If it benefits someone, okay? John Stuart Mill, liberty of the individual is everything. So making sure that people are individually happy as opposed to being spiritual. Karl Marx, freedom of the individual from material want. Charles Darwin, man is a monkey, okay? So this is promoting a certain worldview that will help promote the second coming.
Video ini melemparkan banyak tuduhan ekstrim kepada mereka yang dianggap sengaja menciptakan sistem agar orang-orang seperti kita mudah melupakan Tuhan kita. Prof Jiang juga mengkritik investasi triliunan dolar dalam physical particle seperti CERN Particle Collider. Menurutnya, uang tersebut lebih baik digunakan untuk mengatasi kemiskinan yang terjadi di dunia saat ini. Dan lebih ekstrim lagi, Prof Jiang juga mengatakan CERN dan senjata nuklir bukanlah bagian dari sains. Ini semua melainkan upaya untuk membangun portal antar dimensi, agar iblis atau entitas penguasa bisa masuk dan memperbudak manusia.
Alright, so look, if you just look at science, there are certain things they study and certain things they don't study. For example, they spend a lot of time studying particle physics. Who cares? Can I ask you this question? Who cares about particle physics? They spend billions, trillions of dollars on this stupid thing. They built something called the CERN Particle Collider to figure out what the underlying atom is, okay? Is it really important? Isn't solving world poverty more important? I don't know. You can take all that money you spend on a stupid collider and make sure everyone in the world has enough to eat. They don't want to do that though. All right. You also have focus on outer space, AI. Okay. So the very direction of science, it's very, very specific. Okay. They're trying to achieve a materialist understanding of the world. And also, if you try to, this is the collider. Okay. I don't understand why they're spending trillions of dollars on this stupid thing. This is the current collider, LXC, in Switzerland, and now they're going to build a bigger one. And you see how big it is, right? What are they trying to do here? Are they really trying to figure out particle physics? Maybe, maybe not. All right? All right, guys. Jacob Frank. What Jacob Frank tells us is there are different dimensions. Okay? And another dimension is Big Brother, who's a friend of his, but he's stuck in his dimension. He's trying to come to our dimension, but he needs our help. So what's CERN Particle Accelerator trying to do, right? Is it really trying to discover particle physics, or is it really trying to break the dimensions, like they did with the nuclear bomb? Okay, do you understand? People believe the nuclear bomb, it was really about creating an interdimensional portal for Big Brother to come into. And now people are saying, is it possible the CERN Particle Accelerator is trying to bring in these interdimensional demons to our world to conquer us, to enslave us? That would make a lot more sense than particle physics, okay guys?
Dalam video ini, dia juga mengatakan bahwa sains sengaja tidak meneliti hal-hal esensial seperti kesadaran, roh, kebenaran, dan agama. Selain itu, peninggalan seperti Göbekli Tepe yang baru saja ditemukan di Turki disebut sengaja digali hanya 5% karena ilmuwan takut jika kebenaran di baliknya terbongkar. Dan hal itu bisa menghancurkan segala paradigma sains pada saat ini, termasuk teori evolusi.
Alright, what does science not study? Okay, it doesn't study consciousness, which is the number one problem in the world, right? Wouldn't it be nice to know how we think? Okay, wouldn't it be nice to know how I come up with the ideas I do in class and teach it to you, and how you respond to my ideas, which is a much more basic problem in particle physics. We don't do that, guys, okay? There's absolutely no money or very limited funding in the study of consciousness. Imagination, intuition, anything in material spirit, okay? Like ghosts or spirits, we don't study at all. Religious truth. We also don't study kindness, happiness, and love. Okay? We don't study what is the basis of these things. We don't care. We don't study telepathy, connection. We don't study intelligence of animals and plants. We also don't study ancient architecture and civilizations. So if you go to these ancient sites like Göbekli Tepe, we discussed Göbekli Tepe before, we only have uncovered 5% of it, okay? We don't care what is underneath Göbekli Tepe. Because it's possible that if we were to discover everything, then it would refute traditional paradigms of the world, including evolution. All right? So science is focused on spreading one particular paradigm about the world and discounting everything else. All right? So why is that?
Ia mengklaim sains tidak terlalu ahli dalam menciptakan hal-hal baru, namun sangat pintar memalsukan hal-hal yang besar. Misalnya memalsukan invasi alien ke bumi. Ia juga mempertanyakan mengapa ilmuwan seperti Einstein dan Charles Darwin bisa langsung terkenal di seluruh dunia secara instan. Ia menyimpulkan bahwa hal itu terjadi karena secret society secara aktif mempromosikan ide-ide yang mendukung agenda dan eskatologi akhir zaman mereka.
Okay. Another thing that's really interesting about science is it hasn't really improved in the past 50, 70 years. We're spending billions, $200 on science, but we haven't really improved science that much. There have been no great discoveries. And there are three reasons why, okay? The first is specialization. You're only allowed to focus on one very specific problem. And without generalists, without being able to think of science very broadly, it's hard to come up with new discoveries. All right? The other thing is you have a very strict bureaucracy. So as a scientist, you spend most of your time actually applying for funding. You actually don't spend most of your time trying to solve the problems of the universe. And the third thing is credentialism, where if you don't have a certain PhD, and you don't belong to a major research university, you're not allowed to talk about science. Okay? So because of these three reasons, it's hard to do science. It's hard to discover truth. And that's the intention. The intention is to prevent people from discovering the truth of the world. Okay? Now, science is not very good at creating new things, but it's very good at faking things. Okay? It's very good at faking things. Also, guys, it's possible they might fake something else, called an alien invasion. Science is very good at that. It's not good at creating spaceships, but it's good at faking spaceships, okay? There's a difference.
Secara keseluruhan, video ini sedang memaparkan teori konspirasi dari sains modern. Prof Jiang memandang seluruh perkembangan sains dan filosofi barat sebagai alat manipulasi yang sengaja dirancang oleh elit global untuk menjauhkan manusia dari kebenaran spiritual, agar memudahkan mereka untuk menyambut satu entitas akhir zaman yang membawa sejuta fitnah, yaitu Dajjal.
Alright, so this is Thomas Kuhn, and he wrote something called The Structure of Scientific Revolutions. And he just says it's natural for paradigms, new ideas, it takes a very long time for paradigms to take shape. But then if that's the case, how do we explain Einstein? The moment he proposed relativity, boom, he's famous, world famous, okay? How do you explain Darwin? The moment he proposed evolution, boom, he's world famous. It's really strange that, like this way, okay? And so one explanation is secret societies control the world, they have a certain eschatology, and they are promoting things that push their eschatology forward. And that's how the world works, okay?
Jika kalian suka dengan video pembahasan seperti ini, jangan lupa untuk klik tombol like dan subscribe serta lonceng notifikasi agar Anda semua mendapatkan informasi terbaru dari kami. Dan jangan lupa tinggalkan tanggapan kalian di kolom komentar agar kami tahu bagaimana reaksi kalian tentang video kami ini. Saya undur diri, sampai jumpa di video-video selanjutnya. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.